Last time on the Blondies MX5 World Tour. The cars are getting the engines ready, the lights are coming out, and there's the green flag. They're taking off at Silverstone Historic Grand Prix. Jan Koemans is leading them off. Guillermo Rato slots in behind them. Things are relatively clean, but people are already getting a little bit dicey. Guillermo's dropped back a little bit from Jan Koemans.
And we have a spinner. That was Dragon, Mihai Dragon.
Jan Koemans might lose at the Frieders. Frieders is looking on the outside as they go through Stowe turn. Koemans still able to hold it, but he might... I don't know, will he have a desired line coming out of the club?
Yeah, there's not a lot of braking as they head into Stowe here. Yeah, Freitas actually takes over Koemans. In fact, Koemans is under threat from Guillermo Rato. It seems like it is not going how Koemans wanted, which is probably to skip away from these guys, Richard. Jan Koemans has taken the lead back from João Freitas up towards the top, but Yao's going to make another go at it as they head towards the first turn. He's not quite close enough. In fact, they are 1, 2, 3 bumper to bumper. Guillermo is getting very close. Yao's getting even closer. In fact, he just barely touches the back of Jan Koemans' car. In 7th, we've got Amjad Yaman, who is battling with Jim Bolin. In fact, Jim just made contact with Marcus Lambert. He spins into club corner.
Mihai Dragon almost just had a spin there, making contact with Terry Jonas, and he retaliates. He spins Terry Jonas around, they're bumping into each other, both losing a lot of time. I think the Dragon has left the building.
Sam McAleer and Tom Ratty are having quite a battle as they head down the front straightaway. Sam's on the outside as they head into turn 1. Tom might have it. In fact, he does. He outbreaks Sam. In the meantime, Sam is going to take a look on the outside of Tom Ratty. He wants that position back. He's not going to give up lightly here. They are side by side. He knows his racecraft. He takes that position back with ease around the outside of Stowe. Good stuff.
Yeah, Frieders looking for the lead, going down into turn 1, on the inside of Koemans. It looks like he's got it, there's contact between them, and now we're going to have to see Koemans come through the pack again, because he has fallen to third. The leader, João Frieders, is coming into it for his stop on lap 12.
Koemans has actually gone into the pit right with Freitas, so those two are running about the same strategy, but
and
they could have short-fueled. Yes,
Koemans
Sam's right.
has got out ahead of Frieders.
With Jan Koemans coming up at full speed, he should still get the first place from Rato. No, he falls in behind him at this point in time. Then he attacks him, and he takes the first place with Guillermo Rato now in second, Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry, Arthur Chan has just gone off. He's lost contact with João Freitas now. He made a big mistake somewhere in the Maggots-Beckett sequence.
Rato sent a message to Koemans actually saying go. Maybe he is setting up for a final lap pass here. They're coming to the white flag, guys.
I take back everything I said about Guillermo Rato. He is attacking now with some intensity, Joe. He's right on his bumper.
I think Rato made a mistake in there.
And Rato has fallen back at least 20 meters now. It is a win for Jan Koemans, followed by Guillermo Rato, and in third place, João Freitas.
For 4 previous seasons, the field sizes have grown larger. For 4 previous seasons, the competition has grown tougher. For a handful of drivers, the Season 5 championship is there for the taking. For most everyone else, it will be as elusive to grasp as a feather in the breeze. This is the Blondies MX5 World Tour. Organized by the Quality Racing Syndicate.
Hello everyone, and welcome to round 6 of the MX5 Blondies World Tour. Coming to you live on the Global Sim Racing channel at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. I am Richard Losper, and alongside me in the booth is Samuel Reiman. Hello, Sam.
Hello, Richard. It's great to be here. I'm looking forward to a good race today.
Thank you. And down in the pits we have the ever-informative Ayrton Ellis. Hello, Ayrton.
Hey, Richard. I'm really excited to be here. It looks like it's going to be a great race.
And also, we have a backup commentator tonight, Joe Peak. as usual. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Richard, I'm ready to take over the reins if need be.
Thank you, guys. We are looking forward to a great one. In the background, we have our ever ready Giancarlo Lenzi doing all the button pushing. So, guys, we are at the Sebring Club tonight at sunny Florida in the USA. An interesting track. Ayrton, you want to take us through some words about this track?
Yeah, sure. Sebring Club course is half of the Sebring International course, very well-known course in a lot of racing series, and it's a 1.75 mile track, 11 turns, and very short lap times, about 1 minute 16 seconds for a lot of the top running drivers. And I think with a lot of fast, a lot of slow, tight corners, traffic may be a big issue considering there's 30 cars on such a slow track. And as we start qualifying right now, I think the qualifying positions and pit strategy is going to be very important in this race.
Thanks, Ayrton. Well, Sam, I'm just looking at the, as they go out to qualify, as Ayrton mentioned, I just looked at the end of the practice session there, and guess what? Jan Koolmans topped the standings in practice. So it's really, really interesting at the moment in the championship. You want to take us through what's happening currently in the championship?
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, Richard. We've been sitting here for a good little while commenting on Jan Koolmans seemingly off the pace, and at the end of practice he goes and puts up on the top of the board. But yeah, after last week, Jan finally in the championship lead. His participation, though, is suffering, and if he has a bad race, his average points go towards each race that he doesn't make. And so if he has a bad race, his average is going to fall, and that is really going to hurt him in the points. Now, obviously, it doesn't look like he's going to have a bad race today because he's up there on the standings, but he has quite a few penalty points, and a couple more penalty points could give him a mandatory stop-go in a couple of rounds. And that could potentially hurt him. But plenty of other stories in championship standings. 4 rookies in the top 6 spots right now. And because of that, we don't actually really have a most improved driver this season. Just these rookies coming in and seizing this championship almost by the throat. But right now it is Jan Koolmans temporarily still up there at the top of the board.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate that. Now, we do have a track guide which was put together by our own Ayrton Ellis doing a lap around this track. I might talk to Giancarlo and see if you can get the track guide going for us, Giancarlo.
My name is Ayrton Ellis, and you are watching the Global Sim Racing channel onboard lap of Sebring Club Course. The course starts off with a quick left-hand corner known as Turn 1, very fast as we come to hard braking for Turn 2. And then we come to Turn 3 and Turn 4, as these are very fast corners for the MX-5, quite tight and faster cars as we come to light braking for Turn 5, right over the curb. And then Turn 6, one of the most difficult corners on the track. Quite a few crashes on this turn as we come to Turn 7, full throttle, and then light braking for Turn 8. Important to get a really good exit on this corner as we come out onto Big Bend known as Turn 9. And this is one of the parts of the track that will be very beneficial for drivers in the draft. A great opportunity for passing is available as we break at the 3 mark and shift down to 2nd gear at Turn 10. And we come to Turn 11, the final corner of this short course, and that is a lap around Sebring Club Course.
Hi guys, so we are back and the track guide gives you an indication of how it's going to be around this track. Pretty torrid, I will say. Watching the Sam, I'm just watching the early qualifying times here, and it looks like Jan Koemans has done it again. Just at this point in time, he's at the top of the leaderboard, being followed by Freitas and MWTS and Guillermo Rato. So all the usual suspects there, Sam.
Absolutely. By 1/1000th of a second, Jan Koemans has it over Freitas right now. A 1 minute 15.857 to a 1 minute 15.858. Another big name up there is Sam McAleer in 6th. He is your Season 3 champion. And we're going to be keeping an eye on him today because he's been having some steering wheel issues. And throughout practice, he has really been having to relearn how to drive a car. It seems like he's finally got it down right now. 6th on the qualifying board.
Yes, and there are a few of the other normal contenders in there as well. I noticed that Arthur Chan, who didn't actually do a lot of practice here today, he's up in 7th place. We have Benjamin Lanouette in there, Jer Yanis in 5th place, another interesting contender for the championship possibly down the track. Joseph Aero, Tom Rathy, Dexter Castro. So a whole bunch of the normal fast guys in there, although I see only 24 qualifying times have been posted at this point in time. Guys, we might just start seeing if we can talk to one of the guys who are in the race. Do we have anybody ready for us to talk to? I see we have Marcus Lambert with us. Marcus, can you hear us?
Got you, Richard.
Marcus, your championship so far has been a little bit up and down. What are you thinking about tonight in this race?
Unfortunately, I think I'm going to be on another one of those down portions of the championship run. I have 4 penalty points, which means I have to serve a mandatory stop and go on lap 1. So just so I don't cause any more problems, I'm not going to set a qualifying time, turn my first lap, go in for the mandatory stop and go, and then try and minimize my losses from there.
Yes, I read about that. That's a really interesting strategy you've got going there. So just tell us about that again. You won't be qualifying at all. How will that help you?
Well, the way that the pit road is set in relation to the grid here, if you are far back enough on the grid, you don't actually have to complete a lap, the first lap, in order to get into the pits. So I'm just going to start at the back, and while everybody else is still running the first lap, which tends to be one of the slower laps of the race with the accordion effect and just tons of traffic, I'll be in there serving my penalty, getting it done and over with on the first lap, and then I'll be back on the track and be able to run my first 5 laps full speed with no traffic.
Ah, what a great idea. Well, we wish you the best with that, Marcus, and go fast, and we want to see you up near the top of the leaderboard tonight, if it's at all possible. So all the best to you. Who else do we have to talk to there, Mr. Director? All right, we have Arthur Chan available. Arthur, can you hear us?
Yeah, hear you loud and clear.
Now, I'm not going to jinx you tonight, Arthur. I'm going to just say all the very best for tonight. What's your strategy? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, we'll see how qualifying turns out. I was actually sitting in my office desk 60 minutes ago, and I basically rushed back home, and I just barely popped into qualifying. I haven't even looked at the other qualifying times. So I think I'll just be driving my own race. We'll see how things work out. I've got my pit strategy worked out. I've got my fuel window worked out, so we'll just see how it goes.
Yes, well, you haven't done too badly in the qualifying. You're in 7th place at the moment. Jan Koemans is at the top of the table with Freitas and Guillermo Rato, Amjad Yaman, Jer Yanis and Sam McAleer in front of you. So not a bad qualifying effort. We want to wish you all the very best for this race, and we will be having our fingers crossed, as we normally do, that you have a great race tonight.
Thanks very much. I'll see you on the other side.
All right. So, Sam, what's happening in the qualifying at the moment? Do you want to bring us up to date?
Well, it's not close anymore. Koemans has pulled out a whole tenth over Frieders, and they do tend to be the faster qualifiers. Rato and Yarmin, though, do seem to be able to hand with them well in the race, and they're currently third and fourth on the grid, so that'll be interesting to see. I think you've got most of the top 10 covered with your early rundown. I just want to make a small note about Benjamin Lanouette in ninth. He ran 70 laps in practice.
We seem to have lost Sam Reiman there. And we'll just see what's happened to him. In the meantime, Ayrton, you've been watching these guys go round. What are your thoughts about some of the contenders for tonight?
I believe you got confused, Richard. Sam was just talking right there.
I can't hear him at this point in time. Sam, can you hear me? We seem to have some technical problems right now. Sam, can you hear me?
Yes, Richard, I can hear you. I was pretty much just finishing up my thought that Benjamin Lanouette had ran 71 laps in practice, and currently is ninth on the qualifying board, so it seems to be working well for him.
I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We had a couple of technical problems there. I was about to talk to Ayrton about his thoughts for the race on this track, seeing as how he's done a few laps around this track. What are your thoughts, Ayrton?
Well, I definitely think this track is a great racing track for these cars. It is small and it is short, but the two longest parts of the track, which actually provide a good amount of draft in these cars, lead up to very good passing zones. So we'll see a lot of side-by-side racing in the turn 10 hairpin, coming onto the front stretch, and the turn after the front stretch, turn 1, which are very good passing zones to go side by side with, and we'll see a lot of passing maneuvers in those corners.
Yes, I see. What are your thoughts about Jan Koemans? We were talking not that long ago that he wasn't on the pace tonight, and look at him, he's up in first place once again.
Yeah, Jan Koemans definitely mentioned that this wasn't one of his best tracks, and I think that João Freitas has looked very strong in practice and qualifying already, so I think he'll really have something for Jan after messing up at Silverstone when he had a really good race at Silverstone. So I think João Freitas will be right up there with Jan Koemans, and hopefully Rato and Yaman Janis will be able to stick close behind during the race, since those guys are very close in times as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward greatly to the start. I think it's going to be a really, really interesting start going into that first corner. Sam, do you want to take us through the qualifying? There's about 3 minutes left, less than 3 minutes left in qualifying. You want to take us through the top 10 or so?
Yes, sir. Currently, we have Jan Koemans on pole position at a 1 minute 15.719. João Freitas a little over a tenth behind in second place. Rato and Yarmin round out the second row, and then Janis and McAleer are in fifth and sixth. Arthur Tran is in seventh, and Thomas Rattree is in eighth. Benjamin Lanouette is in ninth, and Joseph Aero runs out the top 10 in the Shell Ferrari Special.
Thanks, Sam. I believe we do have another one of the competitors available for a for an interview, and that is, who would that be? Giancarlo? We have, I don't see him there. Balls. So, are you there, Balls? Can we hear you? Stefan Morien, can you hear me? Hello, Stefan. He's not answering at the moment. He's been muted. I guess we'll have to continue on. There's about 1 minute left of qualifying before we get to the start of this race. It's going to be, as I've said, and I've said this a few times, but I am really excited about this one. It's good to see the top three guys João Freitas, Guilherme Rato, Jan Koemans, once again going to be battling it out for that first spot. And it's going to be a hot start, I'm pretty sure. Sam McAleer in there. I really want to see some more of Sam McAleer. He, by his own standards, I guess he would say he's had a disappointing start to this championship, Sam.
Yeah, certainly, but you know what? The championship's still up in the air. Between about 3rd and 15th in the points, there is 100 points separating those about 12 cars. So, you know, it could go any way for any driver, and qualifying is just about finishing off right now. Hot laps will count. You see the point standings on your screen right there. Get to see where your favourite driver is. Jan Koemans still unchallenged at the top. 1/10, usually he has a little bit more on the pole time than that over whoever's in second. But you know what, this is a very short track, so the times are going to be a bit closer than usual. And guys, qualifying is ending, and I am really looking forward to the start of this race.
That's right, we have less than a minute now. Just perhaps talk a little bit about the penalties that we've got here. There are quite a few guys who've got some penalties to fill out. You want to take us through some of that, Ayrton?
Yeah, 2 drivers have a probation level of 4 and 5. If you have over 4 penalty points, you have to serve a mandatory stop and go. And those 2 drivers are Saba Volika and Marcus Lambert, who were involved in big incidents at Silverstone last week. So I don't think Saba is in this race, but Lambert seems to say, we were in an interview with him earlier, said that he's going to make a quick stop and go on the first lap and see what he can do from there. Other drivers, I think, will use the advantage of this small built track to get rid of penalty points, since you only lose about 5 seconds of a lap time by going through the pit lane. So some drivers, I heard Dexter Castro and some other drivers talking about doing that for this race. So that might be some strategy to lower those penalty points.
Thanks, Ayrton. I see they're starting to grid up now, and they're about probably less than 30 seconds away from the start. So Sam, you're going to call the start for us, so I'll hand back to you.
Thank you, Richard. This is a very exciting lineup, it looks like. Freitas and Koemans very close to each other in qualifying, and it's going to be interesting watching them run down into the first corner with Rato and Yamin starting right behind them. And we're waiting for them all to get gridded up, and then we'll hear the engines rev in about just a little less than a minute right now. Oh boy, guys, this is a very tight circuit, a very tight corner the first turn. Cunningham, it's going to be a right-hander they're going into, and then they'll go through a bit of a squirrely straight, and then a couple more tight right-handers coming up after that. Anyway, the lights are on now, they're getting the engines revved up. The lights are off, and away they go. Koemans has got a good start so far, and you already see cars at the back of a pack peeling down pit road. And it looks like they're all going to try and get through the first turn cleanly, single file. Alright, 1 out of 11, ain't bad. 11 turns on this course, and it is Koemans leading them nicely. He's got a nice lead over your second place driver, Freitas. And it looks like it's all a clean start up, all clean up front. Richard, how's the back of the pack looking?
It's a good start from just about everybody. I haven't seen anything untoward at this point in time. Jan Koemans has led them off. João Freitas is following him, and then Guilherme Rato. We're used to seeing that those 3 line up one behind the other at the start of most of the races that we've seen so far. MWTS is in 4th place, which is a little bit higher than he's been in the past couple of races. He would probably say he's had bad races in the last couple. Jay Yanis is just behind that, followed by Sam McAleer. So at the moment they're starting. Sam McAleer is making an attempted move on Jay Yanis, just by the looks of it. He's on the inside for that turn, and they side by side going into that turn. Who will come out in front on this one? It looks like Jay Yannis has the better exit out of that corner, and he maintains his spot. Sam?
Yeah, Friedis is not letting Koemans go by at the front. He's pacing behind him, and I think that might be hurting him a little bit as Koemans puts two wheels off on exit, because Rato's closing in a little bit on both of them right now. And off goes the Friedis as I say that, and Koemans gets a bit of an opening. So top three cars still nose to tail as they come through turn 8, and now they're going to go, or is that turn 9, and now they're going to go through the big bend and down into the hairpin. This is a good overtaking opportunity if Friedis can get on the inside of Koemans. He's got the slipstream here. I think he's a little too far back though. No, he's going to have a look. Here they go side by side. Koemans gives him room. Friedis is your new leader as they come to complete lap 2 of 32, and Rado may soon be looking on Koemans for second.
Yes, Rado has taken an opportunity to attack Koemans as well. Friedis has gone past him in a really good move, and now we have Gemerato really on the back of we have him on the back of Jan Koemans, and not far behind them we now have Amjad Yaman as well. Looking further back down the field, I can't see too much happening. Ayrton, you've got anything happening down the field somewhere?
I actually was just looking at Dexter Castro, who did exactly what I was talking about with the penalty points earlier on. Right off the line, the green flag, he shot into pits and only lost 2 positions after coming out of pits. And he also did another one, and now near the back of the field. I mean, he just cleared 2 penalty points in one race right there.
Yes, and I see, if I'm not mistaken, just behind him is Marcus Lambert. So these people have served their penalties, and they can now just look forward to racing for the next few laps before they have to start thinking about pit stops. Sam?
Apparently there was a little bit of contact further on back in the pack. Peter Yerkser hit Kevin Stallings. Kevin running around at the back now. I'm not quite sure what position he's in, but it's not in one that pays a lot of points, I can tell you that much. Still, the field beginning to spread out a little bit up front, but I don't think Koemans is going to let Friedis go that easily.
No, he's in second place, but Rato is still attacking him quite consistently, and he's coming up side by side with Koemans. Koemans manages to keep him out, and in the meantime we have João Freitas skipping ahead. So it's all happening near the front. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars, nose to tail practically, and then we have Sam McAleer just a little way back. Sam?
Yeah, it looks like 27 cars started this race, and Kevin Stallings is down in 25th. So yeah, Peter Yerkser, it looks like, and John Kuhneman are in the pits for whatever reason. And does it look like repairing damage?
John Kuhneman was sitting in pits at the very start, so I'm not sure. I think he might have had an early crash at the beginning of the race. And you mentioned the contact with Peter Yerkser and another car last lap.
Yeah.
Right, so just going back down to the field, the top 10 at the moment is pretty much the top runners that we've seen before. Tom Rathie and Arthur Chan are in there. Benjamin Lanouette, who's shown since last week that he can turn a fast lap. Joseph Eros in 10th place, Dexter and Chuck Johnson behind them. Eric Garcia in 13th place I am looking at the moment. He seems to be just steadily making his way around the track in that position. 13th place. He's followed by Arcadius Teterix and Mihai Messerson. So all pretty quiet and pretty civil at this stage, Sam.
Yeah, Benjamin Lanouette, he started 9th on the grid. He has fallen to 10th now, so only 1 position down, but he's beginning to hold up a bit of a trolley train. We'll see as the laps wind on if that's something that begins to expand. Koemans is in Freitas' draft going down into the hairpin. Not close enough to make a move on him yet, though. And remember, Koemans has to be really careful because after a couple of rough races at the start of the season, he is running high on penalty points. And if he gets into the back of Freitas for the lead, the stewards aren't going to look very highly on that. and we may see him having to make a mandatory stop-go next race. Is he going to take a look down into first corner? Yes, he is. And this one's going to be a clean pass if he can hold it. He might not be able to. Freitas is going to counter-attack and take the lead back as they head off down into the tight turn 6, I think they're heading into now.
And I've been watching further back down the field at Stefan Morian, and he has been battling with Mihai Messerson. Just looking at it now, he is pretty much in line once again, so not much happening there at this point in time. Going back to the front of the field now, I'm interested to see that João Freitas, and we still have Jan Koemans in second place. So this is interesting. He has got to battle for that first place now. And we have lurking in the background as he makes a move. He makes a move on, but he hasn't got it because he's on the outside. So João Freitas continues to lead, followed by Jan Koemans, and he makes another move on the end. He's not going to give this one up easily, Sam.
Koemans going left, Koemans going right. And these leaders are coming up on some lap traffic. Koeman not far in front of them. And Koeman's going to the outside. I don't think it's going to work in turn 1. In fact, it may actually cost him. Is Rato going to take second on the exit here? No. Actually, oh my goodness, I can't believe that worked. Koeman's looks like he may go into the lead. But it's going to be very tight as they come down into turn 4. Freitas versus Koemans. It's been like this all race. And they have 3 cars waiting behind them, just waiting for them each to take each other out. But Freitas still leads this race.
Well, we've got to talk about Amjad Yaman and Jerry Yanis now, because they have caught up with this leading pack, and there's 5 cars virtually nose to tail at the moment. And I noticed that when these top 3 were battling, Amjad Yaman made a concerted effort to get right on their bumpers. So he is playing a watching brief at this stage, and Jerry Yanis just behind him, also watching what's happening in the front. The more these guys battle, the better off the other 2 behind them will be, Sam.
Yes, absolutely. They're coming to complete lap 7 now, and I estimate the pit window to be opening up at about lap 8 or lap 9. That's an optimistic number. We have seen some cars pit really early and not be able to make it to the end of fuel. Remember, these guys have limited fuel cells, or a limited amount of fuel that they're allowed to run, 3.6 at maximum gallons. And so that will force some cars into the pit soon, I think. Still pretty much single file up front here, nothing new going on. Freitas, we know he wants to win. He hasn't got a win yet this season. That's a bit of a surprise to us who are used to calling his name. And right now he really wants to change that today at Sebring Club.
Yes, it is a 32-lap race though, Sam, and they're on lap 8 at the moment, so it would be very optimistic if you were to pit even around lap 9 or 10 with 22 laps still to run on that 3.6 gallons. I don't myself think that they'll be pitting until maybe around lap 14 or 15, maybe 16. There are also some guys who will probably choose to stay out there and take their chances at maybe getting a lead lap and then short fueling to try and get them to the end in front of someone else. But at this stage, it's all nice and civil. Everybody one behind the other, single file. Anything happening that you can see there, Ayrton?
Yeah, at the moment, I'm watching a battle for the 9th position with Benjamin Lanouette, Chuck Johnson, Joseph Arrow, and Blondie's very own Eric Garcia, who's having a very good run in this race. They've been having a lot of side-by-side racing recently, and it's just a train of 4 or 5 drivers at the moment.
Yes, I am with you on that one now, and it seems like they've closed up a bit, and very soon they will possibly be battling each other to take a new spot. Benjamin Lanouette's in there. Tom Rathy is having a good race tonight. He's in 8th place at this point in time. He, by his own standards, probably had a few bad races in the early ones, and hopefully he wants to keep it clean tonight and just get a good finish to boost his championship points. Sam?
It looked like Arthur Chan was going to have a look at Sam McAleer for 5th place there, or 6th place rather. Remember, Sam McAleer, we believe, is running with a broken steering wheel or something, and he's done a marvellous job. But I was almost getting prepared at the start to call his name as one of the drivers involved in an incident, but he completely proved me wrong. He's been able to keep control of that car, and right now is running in a very solid 6th position. Just looking at previous results, his best finish this year so far has been 8th, and that was at the opening round at Okayama Short.
Yes, I'm looking right at the back of the field now at Marcus Lambert. Now, you'll remember that Marcus did that early stop and go to get rid of his penalty points. He is right on the tail of, I believe it's Bill Zahn at the moment. Bill Zahn is the organizer of this series. He's just past Bill Zahn, so he's trying to move his way up from really 27th position into to get higher up in the field. Joe? Sorry, Sam. My apologies, folks. I'm so used to talking to Joe that I called his name out. I actually meant to say Sam. Go ahead, Sam.
Oh, that's okay. My parents are going to call me Matthew. Koemans was having a look at Frieders going into the hairpin there. He fell back a bit. It's just this 5-car pack, and like I mentioned about pit stops, these guys can't really afford to pit because they're not really holding each other up. In fact, on the contrary, they're probably helping each other with all that draft going down the long straights we do have here. I mean, it's not the fastest track in the world, but still, you got that run around Big Bend down into the hairpin. Ayrton, have you seen any early stoppers trying to take advantage and get out of traffic?
Yeah, I've been keeping my eye. Actually, at the moment, I think we have, let's see who this is. Matthew Baker and Simon Ears look like they, actually, no, that is Dexter Castro has made his pit stop. I think he's normally one of those early guys to go into pits, and I think that's just his strategy. He did pit earlier for his pass-through penalty, and I think this is going to be his first pits of this race.
I'm watching Sam McAleer, who's currently coming up on Jay Yanis. Now, I noticed that in the he's mentioned to other drivers that he's having big problems with his shifter. He must be doing a fantastic job because he's certainly not down on speed, and in fact he's at this point in time attacking Jay Yanis, and we might see him make a move on Jay. He is making a move, side by side they go. He's got the outside at this point in time. Jay Yanis maintains his position because Sam McAleer, as we've seen in other races, is quite content to pull out of trying to make a pass if he sees it won't work for him. Sam?
Yeah, very clean racing. This is a very tight track at Sebring Club, so it is saying something that these guys can race side by side like that. And again, I just can't take my camera off his top two because Koemans is looking to the outside of Frieders now. I don't think he's got a chance going through the hairpin. As a matter of fact, he may lose second to Raldo. No, he won't. He's too good. These leaders, man, they've got the pace. I mean, everyone's doing a great job at racing cleanly, keeping it on track, and into the pits comes Koemans. He's gotten tired of following Frieders.
Well, that is a little surprise. We're on lap 12 of 32, so 20 laps to go still, so that really is quite an early pit stop. I have been looking at Arthur Chan, who seems to be traveling around by himself just at the moment in 7th place. So it doesn't seem like much happening there. Anything that you are looking at, Ayrton?
Yeah, Tom Rathie is also one of the early pitters, followed Jan Koemans through the pits. Jan Koemans seems to come out right ahead of Stefan Morian in 13th position. So let's see how it'll turn out. He doesn't have much traffic in front of him, but I think getting through the slower cars on this course may be a struggle for him, so he might have to have a little disadvantage with pitting early.
Yes, so running through the top 10 as we see it on track now. We have João Freitas in the lead, and he's now followed by Guilherme Rato. Something familiar about that. They are then in turn followed by Amjad Yaman and Jay Yannis. So that's the top four. Jan Koemans has dropped into 5th place now with his pit stop, and Arthur Chan in 6th place, Sam McAleer in 7th. So there's the top 7 for you, but it seems like the 4 guys at the front have really pulled out, and Jan Koemans, I believe, is just coming out of the pits now. So it's an interesting move by Jan there, Sam.
Yeah, he's been out of pits for about a lap now, actually, and he's had a clean track. He's been lucky. I believe Sam McAleer came into the pits this time. Now, I was just taking a look at the lap times. Only one driver has broken into the 1:15s during this race, and that is Rato, who currently runs in 2nd position. So I was wondering if he could run Freitas down and challenge him for the lead. That hasn't been the case, though. There's still about 5 or 6 car lengths between them. And I think a bigger story is at the end of this lap, what kind of lap time does Koemans put on? Because if it's faster than Freitas's, this strategy could really work in his favour.
Yes, it remains to be seen though whether he will make 20 laps on that fuel. 3.6 gallons, as we've mentioned. That's a long way on 20 laps, a long way on that 3.6, and I'm not sure whether he's going to have enough fuel to see him through. Time will tell. Anyway, yeah. I have been watching further down the field, Marcus Lambert, who's moved through, is now currently sitting in 14th place behind Stefan Morien, and Jan Koemans just up ahead of them in 12th place at this point in time. So I'm just wondering whether this move that Marcus Lambert has done will see him move up into the top 10 at least. Sam?
Koemans was 3/10 faster than Freitas last lap around, so maybe this strategy could work to his favour. Ayrton, has there been any more entertaining activity on pit road?
Yeah, Stefan Morien from 12th position has followed into pits, and what I wanted to question about was, like, would drivers be taking tires or not? Because I've noticed that even in the first 10 or so laps, the fast leading drivers are about like at least a second and a half faster than their qualifying. I mean, like slower than their qualifying pace. So, will tire wear be a big factor in this? And if one driver sacrifices a little more time onto their pit stop for some fresh tires, will that give them an advantage later in the race?
Yes, I've got my camera firmly at the moment. We'll talk about that in a second, Ayrton. I've got my camera on Jan Koemans at the moment. He's moving through pretty quickly to catch up with the leaders once again. He's just past Eric Garcia, and he's making a move now towards Arcadius Teddericks in 9th place. So he's done a pit stop, and he's now at this point in time in 10th place. So I'm betting we're going to see him up near the top, if not at the top, before the end of this race again, Sam.
Look at that. Yarmin and the guy behind him, Jarnis, just came into the pits, and Koemans got out in front of him. Not too far in front of Yarmin, but Yarmin is behind our own Garcia, Blondies Garcia, and that's going to hold him up a little bit. Koeman's getting all 4 wheels off as they come onto Big Bend here. So the strategy might play in Koeman's favour. It's early the call. Really, it's going to be seeing where Freitas and Rato get out of the pits in relation to Koemans.
Yes, that will be the interesting bit, because of course they haven't pitted yet. Now, just getting back to Ayrton, you were talking about the tyres and whether the drivers are taking tyres. Have you noticed whether they have taken tyres, these early pit stops?
Well, the early drivers, I think, they've had some
Crash! Stefan Morion and someone else has tangled. I'm not sure who it is, but a couple...
It's Mihai Messesen.
Mihai Messesen, the leader's going by them now, and a lot of damage to those 2 cars.
Well, we're going to get a replay of that, because that was a quite a nasty crash there with Stefan Morien and Mihai Messesen, and that will put them right towards the back Not good for both those drivers. Pretty tough for them there. Going back though to Jan Koemans, he is now coming up on, it looks like Arcadius Teterix, is it? He is making big moves, Sam, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I just want to add something onto that incident. Stefan Morian has been one of only 2 drivers who has completed every single lap in Blondies Season 5. I guess that won't happen today. The other driver is Matthew Baker, who may still have the opportunity. Where's he running right now? He's in 16th. Well, I'm not saying unfortunately. He's a part of a US military, which is good on him. But unfortunately, as far as Blondies is concerned, that means he may not be able to make any other races after this season.
Oh, that is a pity. Stefan and Joseph Aero, by the way, this would be, if he's in this race, that would be his, as he is being overtaken by Jan Koemans as we speak. And Chuck Johnson now in front of Jan Koemans. So Jan Koemans is, and oh look, there's a whole pack of them just behind Jan Koemans now, virtually 3 wide going through the turn there. But Jan Koemans the big mover at the moment, Sam.
Yeah, Koemans' lap time's not suffering too much, even within all this traffic. They're over halfway now, and Freitas and Rato are going to come down to the pits soon. Let's see if they do it this time. I've got my eye on them. Freitas blinking every now and then. Nope, they stay out. They're trying to use advantage of this clean track. Honestly, guys, I've got to be honest. I thought there would be a lot more lap traffic and beating and banning so far. This is such a small circuit, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Everyone's kept their heads on their shoulders so far.
Yes, that is correct. And I'm watching Joseph Aero, who is just in front of MJ Yaman at the moment. MJ Yaman about to make a move on Joseph. He tries the inside, but thinks the better of it. He's all over Joseph Aero's bumper as we speak. And I believe we will see a move from MJ in the not too distant future here, Sam.
Yeah, possibly, and laps just click off here. The leader's almost coming up to complete another one of them. Yeah, Koemans is dealing with plenty of traffic back there, but his lap time last time around was a 1 minute 16.8, and Freitas was a 1 minute 16.7. I don't know, guys. It's going to be very close. This wait is worth it. It's like the calm before the storm. We know it's coming. This side-by-side battle for the lead. Freitas has led 17 laps. Koemans has actually only led 1, but he only needs to lead 1, and that's the final lap, and we'll see if he can do that.
Yeah, I've just watched MJ Yaman is just overtaken Joseph Aero, so that will put him in 4th place. Jan Koemans is now up to 3rd place again, I believe, and bear in mind that I better check this. Has João Freitas or Guilherme Rato pitted yet, Ayrton?
No, those two are still running out. I think they are working together. They're single file mostly for the past few laps to try to get some fast laps and pull a gap from what will be a gap when they pit and come out near Jan Koemans. Jan Koemans now doesn't have much traffic, so he's going to be running hard to try to see if he can have made a jump in the pits and get out ahead of those two.
Yeah,
so we're looking at the leaders at the moment, which is João Freitas and Guilherme Rato. Going back another one, we have in 3rd place, 20th position. No, that's not right. In comes
Freitas.
Freitas into the pits. Ayrton?
Yeah, I've actually seen some drivers, Jurjanis and Amjad Yaman, have made pit stops. And when they made their pit stops, they took 2 tires on the left side, since the majority of these turns are right. Jan Koemans did not take tires. I don't see Freitas taking any tires. So, actually, yes, he is. He's taking left tires. I'm not sure if he's taking right, but if he's taking tires, that may slow down his pit stop and allow Jan to get ahead.
3 seconds longer than Koemans' stop.
Well, it's getting interesting right now because Jan Koemans is in 3rd place. I'm watching Jan Koemans, of course. We know that João Freitas went into the pits. Guilherme Rato still out there in running in first place at the moment, but I'm just looking at Jan Koolmans. He's mowing
Freitas
them
gets
down.
completely sideways. Yeah, guys, Freitas had a 14.2 second stop. Koolmans only had an 11.2. Something happened to Freitas in the pits. He lost a lot of time. He's came out behind Jarmin and came out of the pits on those cold right tyres and almost lost it a couple of turns later.
Yes, and there we see him making a move on, I believe that might be Joseph Aero. Oh, it's getting hot now. There's what, 10 laps left after this lap. So it's do or die time. If you want to get up on the podium, you're going to have to move on. And Amjad Yaman is doing just that. When I look at Amjad now, he has got a little distance on the guys behind him. So the last few laps, I'm just interested to see where Guilherme Rato is at this point in time.
Guilherme Rato just
Ayrton,
came out of
has
his
he pitted
pits.
yet?
Yeah, he just came out of his pits, and Amjad Yaman and Jan Koolmans have gone by. So those two drivers have both got a huge advantage on the pit stop cycle, and Amjad Yaman is in second, and Jan Koolmans is in the lead of this race.
It was all down to the pit stops, guys. Rato, again, a 14-second stop. Koolmans did it in 11 seconds. I don't know what they did different, but Freitas and Rato lost a lot of time just sitting in their pit stall. Koolmans, Jarmin, and in third place is Rato, and in fourth place is Freitas, and that's your top four right now.
Well, you've got to hand it to Jan Koolmans. He knows how to race just about any track. He's fast, and obviously at this particular track, he has made a good decision with his pit stops. I'm told that there's a battle for 20th place at the moment with David Schaefer. So let's go and have a look at that. There's a whole bunch of cars in around the 20th place. With Jan Koolmans moving through this pack here, so it's obviously lap traffic. So I'm not sure whether this is all that interesting at the moment, because they seem to be lined up one behind the other, and Jan Koolmans has moved through them. And as he passes, there we have a spin, and we have an accident. Those are the two drivers we were just talking about. One of them's got an L plate on his car, so it's not too surprising that he's involved in an accident. They virtually parked against the tire wall there, so that is probably the end of their race.
Is that the same two drivers as who collided earlier?
I believe it is.
I think it might be.
Exact same corner, exact same two drivers, Stefan Morian and Mihai Mesicin, had the exact same incident. Stefan just couldn't see his braking zone and hit Mesicin in the rear and spun both of them around.
Well, they're not going to be too happy with each other. I'm pretty sure Mihai Mesicin, if he was the leading driver and Stefan Morian bumped into him, he's not going to be real happy about that. Might be a few words in the post-race chats between the drivers there, Ayrton.
Yeah, and right now I'm looking at Amjad Yaman, who jumped Guilherme Rato and João Freitas in the pits, but those two have much fresher tires, and they are catching onto Yaman. Jan Koolmans has now gotten a 5-second lead, and I think the reason for his faster pit stop was because he was the one out of the top 5 drivers who did not take tires in that process, and I think that really gave him the advantage and gave him that track position that he needed to get ahead.
All right, so we're on lap 24. Sam, do you want to take us through the top 5 or 6 for the viewers? Because I'm pretty sure they'd be a little bit confused by now.
I was about to ask you the same thing, Richard. Joseph Aero came in about 2 laps ago, and he was the last driver left in the top 10 that hadn't pit. So this top 10 rundown right now is pretty accurate as far as running order is concerned. It's Jan Koolmans, Amjad Yaman, Guilherme Rato, João Freitas, Joe Jarnis, that's your top 5. And then Arthur Chan has gotten by Sam McAleer for 6th. Thomas Ratri is in 8th, having a good race. He's had a bit of a rocky season. Chuck Johnson in 9th, and Benjamin Lanouette rounding out the top 10.
Yes, and it is quite unbelievable that Jan Koemans, who I definitely thought with that early pit stop had made an error of judgment, but it seems that it was no error at all. He's much better than I am in calculating these things. He's back in first place again, Sam.
Yeah, I'm watching a battle for, I believe this is about 14th position. Joseph Aero behind Dexter Castro. Joseph was the last car to make a stop, so I don't know if he took tyres, but I'm going to get... Oh! He runs into the back of Castro, and I believe Castro's gone around.
No, Castro's
no,
still
he
going.
saved it. He saved it. Nice save by Castro, but a little bit of contact there. This race heating up with 8 laps left to go.
That is correct. I was going to have a look and see where Dexter was, down in 14th place, which is perhaps not where he would want to be towards the end of this race. But that was certainly a bump there from behind, probably uncalled for. You might say a bit of braking too late or something like that. And Dexter wouldn't be too happy about that. But now we've got Marcus Lambert on the tail of Joseph Aero. And if Joseph has sustained a little bit of damage there, he's not going to last very long. Marcus should be past him very, very quickly, Sam.
Yeah, keep a camera on that. I will mention there is a battle for second heating up. Rato has finally caught Jarman down. Anyway, I've been listening in on the conversation between Stefan Mori and Maihai Masassen. Stefan has taken, he's apologised for both incidents. And Maihai has basically said, you know, I'm not happy about it, but I accept your apology. So hopefully they'll move on to Road Atlanta next week and put this race behind them.
Yeah, I noticed somebody just going into the pits there. Ayrton, who was that?
Peter Yerksa.
Ah, okay, so he's not in contention. So going back to this battle that I'm looking at here, Joseph Aero and Marcus Lambert. Joseph Aero has managed to stay ahead of Marcus Lambert, and they're coming up on Dexter Castro as we speak, although Dexter has managed to put a few meters between him and Joseph at this point in time. But this is quite a tight battle here between Marcus Lambert and Joseph Aero at the moment, Sam.
Yeah, Simon Ayres has apparently had an off and gone into the wall. I'm still keeping an eye on this battle for second because Rato has not made a move on Jarman yet. Maybe he's trying to race cleanly and not be too aggressive too early on. But as he does that, Friedrich is going to run him in. And you know, Friedrich, I mean, when it gets to the white flag, it doesn't matter who's a clean driver and who's an aggressive driver. You're going to go for the positions that are in front of you.
That's correct, and in fact this is a good battle that's developing in the late stages of this race. You've got Amjad Yaman in second place. Jan Koeman seems to have flown the coop now, but we've got Guillermo Rato attacking him. He was just on his bumper, nearly made contact there. He's coming up to side by side with Amjad Yaman as they go into the right-hander, and Amjad and Rato takes it on the outside. And guess what? There is Joe Freitas right in there with them, Sam. This is getting too much for me.
I can't believe they haven't all wrecked yet. Jeez, unfortunate for Jarman, he's fallen to fourth. But if he just hands there for a little bit, maybe the two cars in front of him will make contact into this turn. No, they're racing a bit cleaner now. Boy, you cannot fit a piece of paper between these drivers.
Yes, and unfortunately for them, all that means that is that Jan Koemans has had the opportunity to extend his lead. If all goes to plan, it might well be another Jan Koemans win, Ayrton.
Yeah, it looks like he definitely has all he needs to win it with about 4 laps remaining of this race. I think it's just a battle for second at the moment. And I'm looking at Janis right now. He's 4 seconds behind on Amjad Yaman. And, I mean, he's got them in their sights. And if they keep on battling like this, Janis may be a contention for the podium.
Yeah, those three, I think that's where the main action is at the moment. So we might just keep an eye on these three because they still nose to tail. The loser out of all of that early on in the last lap was Amjad Yaman. And we now have João Freitas and Guilherme Rato in their customary positions of around the top 3, Sam.
Yeah, Chuck Johnson made a very late pit stop there. Is that a second stop for him, Ayrton? Do you know what's going on there? Because he was running in the top 10.
Yeah, I think it was his second stop. I'm not sure if he might have maybe short-fueled it and just realized, or maybe that was a penalty that he got for speeding pits early on. It could be either of those.
Rato goes off
Rato
and
went
Freitas.
wide there. They side by side. That the second place is not decided yet, guys. Make no mistake. We now have João Freitas has gone ahead of Guilherme Rato, or is it the other way around? But MJ Yemen looking to stay with them and possibly pick up a spot if the two of them tangle, Sam.
Yeah, and you see them going underneath that footbridge there, saying rev it up. That's what these two drivers behind Freitas have got to do. And even Jarnis, who has closed within 3 seconds of this battle now, and with about 3 or 4 laps left to go. Oh boy, if these guys begin banging on each other, on each other's fenders too much, you know, it could become a 3-way battle for third, because I think Freitas has pulled out in front of him a bit. He may have locked up second now, and it may just be a battle for third.
Well, I don't know about that, Sam. They're still pretty much all in it. You've got Freitas, Rato, and Yemen. And Yemen is really pulling up to the bumper now of Rato, and hopefully he can try and make a move in the laps that are left. There are only 2 laps left, Sam.
I think rightfully they are in the order of which they are fastest. I think Freitas is faster than Rato, and I think Rato is faster than Jarmin. However, when there's 3 laps left to go, when there's a draft, when there's overtaking opportunities, it doesn't matter about who's faster than who. It matters about who can do what with who. Right now they're spreading out a little bit. Maybe it will finish this way, but you know, but at the end of the day, if this is the way they finish, it is going to be Koemans who comes out the big winner.
Yeah, that's right. So Jan Koemans is definitely out in front of this race and looks like he might well win it unless something serious happens to his car. João Freitas in second place, Guilherme Rato in third place, MJ Yemen, who I think has stopped challenging now by the looks of it and has decided that he can't make it into third place. Jay Yanis and Arthur Chan make up the top 5, Sam.
Yeah, Jarmin has got a top 5 finish every time he's raced this season, so I can't imagine he can be too disappointed with a 4th place finish here today. I mean he's a rookie, and he's racing in the series with some of the best Mazda Miata virtual drivers you'll ever know, and you know, if I've got a feel for someone, it's got to be Freitas, because he has just been so fast this season without a win, but at the end of the day it comes down to strategy, and for whatever reason he was 3 seconds slower than Koemans in the pits. Right now he's 8 seconds back of Koemans anyway, so that 3 seconds doesn't really make all much difference. Rato finished second here last year. The Blondies League have only raced at this configuration once before, so I guess he'd like to keep that top 2 streak going. Right now he's got a nice little podium streak at this track going on if he can finish third. White flag is out in the air. Koemans is on his final lap.
That's right, and he's just moving through a little bit of slower traffic at this point in time, but he certainly looks, Jan Koemans, as if he has everything under control and just cruising to the checkered flag right now, Sam.
Yeah, I've got to admit, guys, Arcadius Tedoric's just got by Matthew Baker, a little battle for 10th going on there. I'm looking at the scoreboard, no huge surprises. I mean, it's been an exciting race, no doubt about that, but these drivers have been able to keep it clean, and obviously, if you put your money on Koemans to win this race, I mean, you'd be getting some money back, but not a whole lot.
Hang on, hold the fort, hold the telephone. Jay Yanis has just got by MJ Yemen, so something has gone wrong with Yemen's plans in the late stages of this race. Jay Yanis has just got past him, so he'll be in 4th place, MJ in 5th. Let's see where Arthur Chan is. Is there any time left for Arthur Chan to make a challenge? No, I don't think so. He's too far back.
Well,
so that
anyhow,
looks like
coming out of the final turn, Koemans is just crossing the finish line. So, sorry, Richard, I have to give credit where credit's due. Koemans has just won his 3rd race of the season. Anyway, how's Arthur's Chan's battle looking?
No, Arthur was too far back, so it certainly looks as if Koemans has pulled off yet another win. That would be 3 out of 3, Sam.
Yes, it would, but that doesn't change the fact that if we go the road at Atlanta, you know, if we go to any race and Koemans has a bad race, he has so many dropped weeks still that would hurt his championship standings. But right now, though, he's competed and won 3 out of the 6 races this season, and that is saying something because you know, that's 50% of the races. He only needs to be in 8 to be eligible for the championship. There's 15 races. You have to be in 50%, so that makes 8 out of 15. So still a long season left to go. But yeah, a very nice race by Koemans today. Probably the least controversial of these wins that we've seen this season. He really showed them that he owned this track today.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I have to take my hat off and give him kudos and respect. That was a well thought out race. I really thought with the early pit stop that it was a mistake, but then again, what do I know? I'm not racing in the series. He's proven that he certainly is the man to beat, you know, hats off to the guy, and commiserations once again to João Freitas and Guilherme Rato. These two are so fast, as you have said, and yet they just cannot get to the top step of the podium. Ayrton?
Yeah, must I say that Amjad Yamin had his doctor nickname did not come into play very well for this race. He tried to short fuel it to get ahead of Guilherme Rato and João Freitas after the pit stop cycle, but ended up running out of fuel on the final lap, which is the reason why Janis was able to pass at the very end, and the reason why he lost chance of catching Rato and Freitas near the end.
Yeah, I'm seeing some news on the Spectator channel here that is exactly what's happened. So he's going to be losing his doctor status. He hasn't managed to pull it off this time, but it was worth a try. If it had worked, that could have got him on the possibly on the 3rd step of the podium, Ayrton.
Yeah, all these drivers had a very good run. Jan was definitely the king of this race. He did a great job with his strategy to not take tires and managed to get a big gap after pit stops on João Freitas and Rato, who were running very close together all race long.
All right, well, let us see if these guys have cooled down enough for us to have a chat with them. I believe that Jan Koemans is available for a chat. If we can bring Jan Koemans into the broadcast booth. Jan, can you hear me?
I think I can, Richard.
Jan, congratulations once again. I know we say this almost every week now. 3 out of 3. Very, very good strategy today by the looks of it. I really thought when you came in on lap 12, I believe that it was a mistake. Obviously, I don't know as much as you do about racing this car.
Well, it was a risk, but I was losing a lot of time battling with João and Guilherme because João was braking quite early to take a defensive line into corner, so it was really difficult to drive, and I was afraid I was going to rear-end him. So I decided to come in and try to get past traffic pretty quickly. I thought I lost too much time actually behind the other guys, but I was very surprised to have a 4 or 5 second gap after the pit stops from the other guys.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about the fact that your pit stop was 11 seconds or 13 seconds and the others were at least 2 or 3 seconds slower than yours. Did you do the normal pit stop? Did you take a little bit less fuel, or didn't you take all your tires? What happened there?
I did the usual thing of taking 2 tires. I always change the outside tires, which makes the most difference anyway in terms of lap time. And you can pretty much change the outside tires in the same amount of time as it takes for the fuel to fill up. So I did a bit of rough arithmetic in my head, and as it turns out, I took just enough fuel. I had like 0.1 of a gallon left in the end, so I just had a good pit entry, got the fuel right, and I guess that was it.
Well, Jan, you are certainly the man to beat in this championship. We congratulate you on your 3rd win out of 3 races, and we hope that you continue on your winning way.
I hope so. Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome. Now, I believe we have João Freitas in the booth. Sam, do you want to have a chat with João?
Yeah, João, hello. I've seen we haven't talked before. I'm Samuel. I'll tell you, man. I feel for you sometimes. You seem to be one of the fastest drivers. I mean, this is your first season in Blondies, isn't it? And yet, just not quite enough to get the win yet. How hard is it to keep up with Koeman?
Yeah, it's very, very hard. I'm trying my best. I'm glad to be fighting head-to-head with him. It's quite nice. But it's missing something for me to win him.
Next week we go to Road Atlanta. Looking at the schedule, I mean, are there tracks you think that are better for you than what Sebring Club is?
I enjoy pretty much the Okoyama full version. I think I can put up a fight with Jan Koemans there at least.
Yeah, we noticed you did seem to have a bit of a slower pit stop than Jean. Was there anything that didn't go quite to plan when you were down pit road?
Yeah, a lot of things went bad in the pit road. First of all, he pitted first, so I guess he refueled less. So that was one thing. Then I had to put reverse because I overshot I braked too late for the pits, and I lost a lot of time. And my outlap, I got a lot of lapped cars, so I lost a lot of time there too.
Well, congratulations on 2nd place today. I know it's very difficult to do with a field as strong as this one is, and we look forward to seeing you at Road Atlanta, and hopefully you can pick off the W there.
Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, well, we've got 1 or 2 more we can talk to. I believe Amjad is available for a chat. Amjad, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Amjad, slight miscalculation today. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of... The top 3 guys were much faster than me, so I had to think of some way to get past them. So decided to short fill it in the pits. Missed it by about half a lap. So you win some, you lose some.
Yes, we saw that you were making time up. You were challenging strongly, and then all of a sudden you fell back, and we went, running out of fuel. And I guess that's what happened, eh?
Yeah, once I got the 5 laps to go, and you had to pit, I guess had to stop saving. But you can't save and defend for position at the same time. Those guys were too fast, so I had to give it up.
Yep. No, that's fine. Look, how's your championships going? Okay, you're getting the positions. It's a long championship still to go, so I think you'd be looking forward still with some anticipation to getting up near the top of the leaderboard at some stage, Amjad.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like I said, these guys are very fast. So I mean, as long as you can be consistent, knock out these top 5s. Pick up the keep 1 or 2, I'll be fine.
I think so. Anyway, we congratulate you on your, what was it, a 5th place today?
Yes.
And we hope that you continue on and, get involved in all the races. And perhaps we want to see you on the podium once again in the future.
I'll be back soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, well, that just about wraps up the interviews for today. I'll go and get some thoughts from you guys. So, Ayrton, what were your thoughts on today's race?
I thought this was a very interesting race. I think it was the most, one of the more clean races, and it definitely was one relying on the pit strategy, which was very different than some of the other races, which relied a lot more on speed. And I think Jan, João Freitas, and Guilherme Rato, they did a great job in this race, all very competitive and all very fast. Giorgianis and Amjad Yaman just had a little bit bad luck with their pit stops, but I'm sure they'll be able to contend again with those really fast drivers later on.
Thanks, Ayrton. Sam, your thoughts?
I really enjoyed the first half of the race, and then, you know, the pit stops happened and Koeman's just got them. Not that the second half wasn't enjoyable, but man, that first half, they were just trading the lead back and forth, back and forth. There were 5 cars in the pack. Like I say, these guys are just incredibly talented. I want to give one shout out before I say goodbye, and that's to Benjamin Lanouette. He got a 9th place finish here today. That is his first top 10 of the season.
Well, that's excellent. Thank you guys for joining us in the broadcast today. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the end of this broadcast. Been a great race. Every race that I've been involved with here has been great. We enjoy thoroughly doing this these broadcasts. We would like you to watch us on our Global Sim Racing channel at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We also have our Facebook page at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. We are on Twitter. You can catch us on @GSR Channel. So we have plenty of methods for you to contact us on. We want to thank everybody for doing the broadcast with us. That is Sam Reiman, Ayrton Ellis, Giancarlo Lenzi for doing all the knob pulling, and of course Joe Pig in the background who didn't get to talk today, but that is because he wasn't needed. We also want to thank all our sponsors and the people that provide us with the software and hardware that we use: XSplit Audio Technica, Amazon.com, Twitch, iRacing, Blackmagic Design, YouTube, Elisa Studio Electronics, Monoprice.com, Bill Zahn, our broadcast team, and we hope and Blondies Bar, not forgetting Blondies Bar, the sponsor of this series. We hope that you can join us again later, and we wish you a very good night.